I'm Gina Ortiz Jones, and I'm running to serve Texas's 23rd Congressional District.
Tony Gonzales, U.S. Congress, District 23.
The pandemic has certainly had an effect on how we campaign.
2020 has definitely been an unprecedented time.
I do a virtual town hall, for example, every single week. I've done 23, everything on, rural and border health, protecting Social Security and Medicare.
And we're using Facebook Live and we're doing Zooms like everybody else to kind of work their way through. But there's something very special about retail politics. It's something special about meeting a person in person, having a discussion with them.
Yes, I'd much rather be in Alpine, in Socorro, in Del Rio, Eagle Pass. But unfortunately, positivity rates still are very high.
We take every precaution, not only for myself, not only for the constituents, also our volunteers. I just think it's important that we respect one another and that we all just continue to get back to some sort of normalcy. Congress is cutting trillion-dollar checks like it's going out of style, and our national debt continues to rise. That's not a long-term solution.
Too many small business owners, especially in our communities of color, were not able to access those PPP loans. But those small businesses, whether you're talking about the south side of San Antonio or in our rural communities, are the lifeblood of those communities. And so we have to get those small businesses up and running again.
People are hurting, but they do not want to get checks in the mail. They do not want to get paid more to stay at home and watch Netflix. What they want to do is they want to work hard, come home, and be prideful in what they do.
So many working families are needlessly suffering due to this prolonged economic crisis because we've had too many leaders not taking this pandemic seriously enough. We need leaders that are guided by data, not distracting and denying and delaying.
So global pandemics they're difficult to deal with.
And that failure of leadership has made it very difficult for our community. And it's why, we need new leaders up and down the ballot.
The administration, along with, Governor Abbott here in Texas, have done the best they can. The reality is this: government will never solve your problems. I've been very vocal from day one that we need full investigations at Fort Hood. We need to find out exactly what is happening.
As a veteran, having served in national security for almost 15 years, everything relies on trust. You have to have trust in your fellow service member and in your chain of command. And that's why it's important that we have leaders in Congress that understand this is fundamentally a leadership issue. It's a military readiness issue.
I spent 20 years in the military. I've been at good commands and I've been at not so good commands. The culture of an organization matters.
When we look at the reports of sexual harassment and sexual assault in our military, this is a systemic issue that we need leaders to address.
And the last thing that I would want is my daughter, or anyone's daughter or son for that matter, to go put their name on the line, fight for their country, and not perish overseas or perish fighting the enemy, but perish at home. That is unacceptable. Defunding the police is scary. That hurts all of us, right? And I think my opponent has been very quiet on this.
I do not support the defund movement. I think we need to make much needed reforms in our criminal justice system so everyone in our country has faith that they will be treated equally.
And I wish we would spend our time and energy talking about how we can better educate and how we can better train our law enforcement officers instead of undercutting them.
I support a federal standard on the use of force, for example. I also support a federal registry so that police officers that have engaged in misconduct are not able to engage in misconduct in one community and then just work down the street in another community.
I will support legislation that takes federal dollars away from organizations, from cities that choose to defund their law enforcement.
Ultimately, though, where we need to be is we need to have safe communities. We need to have communities that trust the very institutions that are there to provide them with safety and security.
We've covered some hard, tough topics here, and I don't know if you're familiar with the series at all, but we always kind of like to end on a lighter note. We were wondering if you knew any Navy or Air Force jokes
that are proper.
My sister's in the Navy, so I can't engage too much.
We have a few we'd like to try on you.
Sure.
Where do rabbits learn to fly?
Where do rabbits learn to fly?
I don't know.
The Hair Force.
Air Force. Okay, good.
Wah, wah.
I know. How do you know your date with the fighter pilot is half over?
I don't know.
He says, but enough about me. Want to hear about my plane?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
What do you call a boat full of Navy dentists?
I don't know.
A tooth fairy.
Oh my goodness. These are dad jokes. These are the jokes I lay on my kids and they go, stop.